Like we're,
Kick this off.
I think we could just go for it.
Let's go for it.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Bob Seat. We are here for a live, in-person interview. Is it an interview? With Claw? It is a...
At Chateau Le Claw.
What is this, what's this sign you got here? Do not privatize, or was that
The
about?
Postal Service. Fighting against privatization of the Postal Service. My whole family works for the post. My sister works for the post office now. So my mom and stepdad are retired from the post office. My aunt's retired from the post office. My Uncle Bob works for the post office. My sister works for the post office. Several of my stepdad's brothers work for the post office. My sister's ex-boyfriend works at the same post office she now works at.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So, I'm like an interested party. They're trying to... Every time there's a Republican administration, there's talks of privatizing the Postal Service. Running it for profit, which is... It shouldn't be. It's a service... Almost knocked over my bubbly water there. Yeah, it's a service that's... What's the word I'm looking for? It's in the Constitution. It's a postal service.
Like a
in
right?
the Constitution. What?
Like a right?
Well, not like a right. It's an agency, like the military is called out for in the Constitution. I think. Like a defense force for the country.
What's the practical issue?
What's the practical issue? There is none. There are no issues with the post office. Just as people think it should be for profit.
What's the practical issue with making it for profit?
It won't be responsive to the public anymore. It'll be more about whether it's turning a profit or not.
Mm.
As with anything that you want to privatize. I don't believe a service should be... No one asks if the military turned a profit last year. It's a service. In the grand scheme of things.
Yeah. It should be not a profitable
The
thing.
mission of the military is
I
to
hear you.
conduct operations and defend the country, not to be in the black. So every year they always go about, the post office is losing money. So what? We have your mail comes to your door, and you can
We pay taxes.
You can send packages to people well below what it would cost if it was in a for-profit system. And this service is prescribed for in the Constitution.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, you can send a letter for 25 cents or less. If that was UPS, it'd probably be at least a couple bucks.
Yeah, it's more expensive.
Yeah. And then you'd have profit, but
Yeah. So I don't, I'm sure some people are tickled at the idea of that, but, well, a lot of people think the profit motive, governs the world. And that if you have a profit motive, everything's going to be better. But I have a lot of examples I can show that that's not the case. But that's what the sign's for. What's up with you, Bob?
hold on, what does the sign do? Who sees that sign and then changes their mind? Or what do they do? Who's going to see it?
I don't know. My mailman sees it and he knows that somebody here supports. My mailman doesn't want the post. Nobody who works for the post office wants it privatized. It's a good job.
I guess it raises awareness, so when people vote.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't matter if they're liberal, conservative, whatever. I mean, nobody who works for the post office says, yes, let's privatize this because it's a good job with good benefits and they don't want to see someone come in and make it all for profit because that threatens their job.
Does it?
Sure.
Why?
Because what if they say, oh, no, we're now privatizing this. Now this is for profit, so we want to cut half our workforce. And taxes don't even pay for the post office. It's all paid for by postage. None of your taxes go to the post office. Some of your taxes go to the post office retirement plan that's passed by Congress.
Interesting. You probably don't need as many people to do the job. In a hyper-efficient, capitalistic kind of...
Well, if they wanted to have a indentured servitude and work people to death. I mean, currently, letter carriers are on the street all day. It does take them all day to do their job. So you talk about people, it's like, oh, okay, an 8-hour shift, they only do like 1 hour of work. That is absolutely not the case with the post office.
So then, how could they even cut jobs then?
By just doing it and then asking people to do double the work for the same pay. That's how. that's it.
Yeah. How's your job going? Still have one?
Yeah, I have one.
How's that going?
It's fine.
You going in yet?
I have been going in. We discussed this like 2 podcasts ago.
Does anybody remember this?
Sure, maybe they do. No, but I have been going in.
Yeah, 100% of the time.
No, but our sister organization is already back in telework. And Defense Logistics Agency right across the street is already back to teleworking half the days.
Your back is probably feeling better. Folks,
My back?
Folks, he's been sitting at a kitchen table chair with his laptop for how many years now?
I was fine with it.
Yeah. But you got a nice proper...
Oh, what? Yeah, they have the chairs at the office are okay, I guess. And they have stand-up desks for people that want to use them. I don't use them.
little camaraderie.
Nobody feels more camaraderie just being in the office. Everyone's pissed off about having to commute. Nobody wants to commute. Why would you want to commute in Philly?
How far is the commute?
It takes me usually like 35 minutes in the morning to get there and 45 minutes in the afternoon to get home.
And you're driving. How's parking over there?
It's not great, but it's not,
And it's a government
it's not the worst.
building, a federal government building.
Yeah, it's a naval service activity, so it's on a military base. Naval Support Activity Philadelphia, over in Northeast.
And you do contracting,
Yes.
which totally doesn't need to be done.
No, everything we do is done online.
But Elon Musk wanted you back.
Elon Musk was, they want us back to make us miserable. Because they hope that'll get people to quit. That's the idea.
Have you seen people quit?
A couple. There's been a few, and they're they're doing the early retirement thing again. So if you want to early retire, you'll get paid through September.
And I think,
And
didn't you say
can
that
just be on administrative leave the entire time?
Didn't you say you didn't trust whether or not you were going to actually get paid for doing that, or?
Well, I was never going to take that deal, but most people were. The first round of it was. There's an official way to do it called VERA, voluntary early retirement, and that's like an actual program that goes through HR. The first round of emails was just. It's like, okay, there's no actual line item for these payments as passed by Congress. Okay, so you take it, the fork in the road email. It was the same one that he sent out over at Twitter saying, oh, there's going to be changes. We can buy you out now. Some people took it. Apparently they did get paid, so more people are going to take the second round of it. Hopefully they want like 8% of the workforce to voluntarily quit.
How many people that you know have taken that deal?
One.
Okay. So
An
not
office
at,
of 120 people.
not at 8% yet.
No, but I'm also in,
Just checking there.
it's a pretty good job over at the contracting office. This is like Navy-wide. There's people who might take that who are not in contracting, who have a more intensive, maybe labor-intensive job as compared to what I do.
Could someone that's like on the front lines take this, or is it like
No,
admin
this is
only?
not. This is to military, civilian military employees. This is not for people who are enlisted or officers.
Makes sense, yeah.
It's not open to them.
What do you think about the stock market?
What do I think? It's going down.
Are you buying a dip? QQQ?
No, I'm just holding what I have, because it'll rise back up eventually.
So you're just in a holding pattern.
Hold, brother. Yeah, I'm just holding it.
Would you vote for Hulk Hogan?
Hulk Hogan? No, he's a racist.
Do you think that that might be the next Republican nominee?
Hulk Hogan? I don't think so. I don't think he wants to be president. No, the next Republican nominee will probably be Donald Trump again.
No way.
I don't know. He's always saying he's going to run again just to fuck with people.
Yeah.
He's really old too. He's going to be
really
like
old.
80. He's going to be 85
He's too
in a
old.
few years. Yeah, he's old. I don't know what he wants to do. Maybe he just wants to stay there.
I don't know.
If he wanted to, they'd all vote for him again.
You'd vote for him?
No, his people would vote for fucking Donald Trump.
Did you go to the protest?
I've been to a couple.
Hands off?
I didn't go to that one. I've been protested out. I was in New York for the Mets opening day over last week. So I was in New York for a couple days, and then that Saturday I got back. I'm like, no, I don't want to go to a protest right now.
But you went to a protest in New York?
No, I've been to that sign that was like out at the post office, like hands off the post office, no privatization. There was also the protest up here against the Jersey Kebab family who got detained by ICE. And
what's your protest like strategy? Like, what do you do getting ready for a protest? I've never done it.
just go and see what the vibe is. And just, I don't know.
What
I'll
vibes?
hold a sign, and I've never given a speech or anything like that.
What vibes could I expect to go with?
I think people are pissed off right now.
People are pissed off.
Yeah.
So you just go and you see a bunch of pissed off people. It looked like a lot of people.
Yeah, there's a lot of people out there. People are like, afraid of what's going on in the country, so they're going to come out and express that.
Have you been to any of the Bernie rallies?
Not since 2016.
But
Well, I don't know. I got out the vote for him in 2020, but he's going around now. No, I'm not going out to any of those. That's for liberals. I'm not a liberal.
Okay. You're not. You're not progressive.
I'm progressive, but I see a difference between left wing and liberal.
Okay, please.
Please?
Please share.
Share?
Please share.
I don't know. There's left wing views, there's socialist views, there's progressive views, and then I would associate liberal as just being affiliated with the Democrats. That's the train going by. I don't know if the audience can hear that. But I don't know, just think back to 2016. I would say liberals liked Hillary Clinton and progressives liked Bernie. That's just it's a very simplistic way of putting it. But leftists aren't necessarily affiliated with the Democrats nor want to be. That's kind of the difference. So I think that's what liberal has come to mean in America. So in that definition, am I liberal? No. Although most people would look at my views and call them liberal, I make that.
But you said Bernie's for liberals?
Well, I think liberals love him right now.
Okay.
They didn't love him before. Now he's the one trying to, foster electoral solutions to the problems in the country.
Is there a progressive candidate then that you prefer?
Not that I can think of right now.
But you're not for Bernie anymore.
Well, he's not running for anything. He's kind of just trying to drum up energy. And I would argue it's to drum up energy in support of, electing Democrats in general, which is, it's not really...
It's not true Bernie.
It's not really revolutionary in any way or change the system or anything like that.
And you're fed up with that.
It doesn't appeal to me. But, if he gets people to come out and... It's his standard stump speech. He's been doing it for years.
Yeah.
So if you get normies out there listening to that who weren't open to the idea of universal health care, and then he says we need a Medicare for all system. It's like, fine, that's good.
What's your ideal pathway to victory for your belief system?
You did ask me this like a few podcasts ago, and I don't know. I still don't know.
Is that true? Did I do that?
Yeah, I think it was in podcast number 1
Okay.
that I was in.
I asked you what your ideal pathway to victory is.
Yeah, like how would I go about implementing my views?
It's not exactly what I'm asking. I guess, like, what do you think could happen that would elect somebody that you like or care about?
I don't know. They definitely have to be like really. I think they'd be unknown. I don't think we know who that person is yet.
But they wouldn't be running for the Democratic Party?
They might, but they'd certainly be very critical of them. Maybe openly hostile towards them.
But
I think you would have. I think you would have to be openly hostile towards them
Huh. Wow.
to really change things.
So it would be like a grassroots then kind of thing.
Yeah, I think so. Because their way of doing things is clearly run its course.
But nobody out there that you have seen.
No. Well, me, but I'm a federal employee. I can't.
You wanna
for
run?
office.
You want to run?
No.
Bob for president?
I'd vote for you.
Thanks. I got 8 subscribers.
Great.
I'm sure they'd vote for me over Donald Trump.
Probably. I'd vote for you over Donald Trump.
I wouldn't do this tariff thing. I feel like that's not a good move.
No. I'm not completely against tariffs as, in certain targeted ways to, it's called protectionism. I'm not completely against protectionism in trade.
What's protectionism?
Well, implementing tariffs as a way to protect, American workers from cheaper foreign labor.
Okay.
So drive up the cost of, outsourcing jobs overseas. Which is, tariffs can be used for that. Or drive up the cost of bringing in cheaper goods from overseas to, incentivize manufacturing in the United States. I think in certain targeted situations at a lower level than they're being implemented is, it can be useful, but obviously in the way he's doing it, it's just with like a wrecking ball in a very stupid way.
You think he's just trying to sink the market so that he can...
What, be an autocrat? Yeah, probably.
No, like so that he can like have all his buddies like buy up the stocks real cheap.
Maybe.
People are saying that he did that like, during COVID, everything went like really low. A bunch of people bought stocks. A bunch of rich
Sure.
people like tripled
Sure.
their wealth.
Sure. But they come in and save the stock market. That's bipartisan.
Mm-hmm.
I think if the market drops 20% on any one day, the market's closed. It's like the new rule. They just stop. They say, okay, trading's off for today.
Has it dropped 20%?
Not in one day.
Yeah.
Not yet.
You think it's gonna be a run on the banks?
I don't think so.
No.
No, I think that's what they do. That's why that 20% rule is in there. It's like if the market got so bad that it dropped 20% by like noon,
Yeah.
they would close the markets. They would rush everybody back to Washington and say, okay, we got to deal with this now. We're gonna have like an overnight vote, and then they'd save the stock market.
Yeah. Crazy.
So many rich people have their wealth tied up in investments, and they would move heaven and earth to save them, of course. It's how we do things.
It's wild.
But they did in COVID.
Yeah. When do you think the next COVID's coming?
It's this measles thing
Yeah,
right
you
now.
think so? Is measles
No, I
coming?
don't think
I mean, I'm vaccinated,
Yeah,
I think.
most vast majority of people are vaccinated against measles.
Yeah. Measles, mumps, rubella,
Yeah,
MMR.
sure.
You never heard of
Needs
that?
more rock.
It's a,
The radio
it's the
station.
standard, it's the trio. I
No,
haven't,
I don't know. Birdman. No.
I haven't had a.
I don't know. I'm not a virologist or whatever.
Do you get the flu
Disease
shot
control.
every year?
I don't.
Have you gotten a COVID vaccine lately?
No. I got the initial run of them,
Dude.
and then I got COVID in 2023,
Yeah.
and I haven't been sick since. So
Just flying blind.
I don't get sick, so I don't.
Yeah.
I don't see the need to get like a bunch of shots for seasonal,
You heard that here,
Disease-
folks. He
diseases.
doesn't get sick. We're going to come back.
Very, very rarely.
Episode
do I.
12.
I mean,
Next time
I
Claw
mean,
gets sick.
Once every few years, I get like a bad cold or whatever, but it's not enough for me to want to.
What other...
I just let my immune system function as it is going to because mine works pretty well. But if you're immunocompromised or if you want to go get it, more power to you. Do you see where the little lighter is? It'll light another coal.
What other hot topics do we want to talk about?
I don't know. What topics do you want to talk about? There it is.
I don't know. What's up? What is our audience interested in
There was
hearing?
some guy trying to get on my case today over the price of the Nintendo Switch 2 on Twitter.
Oh yeah.
Because, I don't know, there was just a video of some woman who was at Nintendo of New York and she was all excited for the next system and shit. And like people were like, oh, this is toxic positivity. They're just being shills for Nintendo when they're raising prices and blah, 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 blah. It's like,
Who's raising prices?
well, the Switch 2 is going to be fairly expensive.
Yeah.
But it is a pretty nice piece of tech. But the games are also getting more expensive. It can be an expensive hobby.
The Switch 2, which has just been
Announced.
deemed as not being put into production because of Trump's tariffs.
Well, pre-orders are on hold. It's already been shipped to America and it's launching on the same day that it said it was going to launch. But pre-orders are on hold.
What do you think about the rumor that Trump's gonna invoke?
The Insurrection Act?
Yeah.
Probably will.
You think so?
Yeah, I think
April
so.
20th?
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah, of course.
Uh-oh.
Why wouldn't he? He loves doing that kind of shit.
So,
And then it'll be, a court battle as to, is there an actual emergency? How can he claim there's an emergency while also claiming that border crossings at their lowest in years? So he's saying every day, we're doing great. Border crossings are low, yada, yada, yada. But also, in 2 weeks, this is an emergency and I have to invoke the Insurrection Act. And send troops to the border and shit. So...
yeah. Is he gonna invoke what do you call it when they just like have the military just
Martial law?
Yeah, that one.
The Insurrection Act doesn't mean martial law everywhere. It's more complicated than that. But, I mean, everything, I think he'll grab power any way he can.
Yeah. I guess I just wonder if he's gonna attack the protests.
We'll see.
Or come after his political opponents.
We'll see. Probably. I don't know how effective that's going to be.
Works for Putin.
Russians have it much worse than we do. Like, they live on, what, like a couple $100 US per week? That's not they have a much lower standard of living than, like, if you think we're susceptible to, a strongman, they're very susceptible to it. Things haven't been good in Russia for 30 years. I mean, things have been, the way Russians live, your average American couldn't even, like, fathom that. Most average American.
So you don't think that the people will put up with it?
No, I don't think so. You know, going into like military jurisdiction over people protesting in cities, you know, I don't think anybody behind.
I mean,
like,
I think
besides
that's,
his most passionate supporters have an appetite for that.
but that's what's being tested, right? Are the people going to push back? And is that what lights the fire for a progressive movement?
Maybe.
I see the twinkle in your eye.
Twinkling shit. Smoking some hookah.
I mean, it's not
So this fucker today,
Yeah.
going on about the Switch 2
this fucker where?
on Twitter.
On Twitter.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I got back on Twitter I was on Blue Sky, but Blue Sky just doesn't have the amount of users that if there's breaking news, like you can find it on Twitter like right away, right? Someone will be saying something about it if like news is breaking. It could be about anything. I use it mostly for video games and sports. And Blue Sky is more pleasant to be on because it's not flooded with right-wing like trolls the way Twitter is. But it just, like I said, it doesn't have the user base where you have that, oh, I'm going to get the news right away because there's so many people that use this app. But anyway, so he was just getting all pissed off about, you know, Nintendo charging as much as they are for the Switch 2 in games. And he was going after a YouTube creator that I like. And he's just being an ass. And you can...
About the Switch 2.
Yeah, I went on his profile, and like all he ever posts about, he posts constantly about how horrible the Switch 2 is, and how horrible the price is, and how everything's terrible, and how life sucks because his new gaming console is going to be too expensive. And I think I just said, like, go eat some beans.
Is it expensive because of the tariffs or just expensive in general?
It's just expensive in general. It's
Yeah.
going to be $450, but it's a good piece of tech.
What is different about the Switch 2 than the Switch 1 that makes it so much more expensive?
It's just vastly more powerful and capable. It has more features.
Let's show people what the Switch 1 looks like.
People know what the Switch 1 looks like.
Folks, this is the Switch 1. And what would you say is going to be different about it?
It's going to be bigger. It's going to have better graphics. It's going to have better online capabilities. Yeah. It's going to have better games.
Okay, and it's going to be hundreds of dollars more.
It's going to be $150 more at launch.
At launch.
Than the Switch 1 was when it came out in 2017.
All right, so the big behemoths in video games these days, Switch 2, PS5, PlayStation, and
Xbox Series X.
Series X. Man, they
Steam
have
Deck.
Such an interesting naming system, Xbox, huh?
Yeah, it's confusing.
It's very confusing.
GameCube
GameCube,
was a long time ago.
long time ago. Okay. Nintendo 64.
Even longer ago. You're going way back, ancient history there.
Sega Genesis.
Ancient history.
Game Boy. That was my first gaming system. Game Boy.
It was my second. I had an NES and I got a Game Boy.
No, I
But-
guess I had an NES at some point.
Probably.
Mario.
Mario Twins.
Is it Mario or Mario?
I say Mario.
I say Mario.
A lot of people say Mario.
A lot of people
but
say Mario. A lot of people
whatever
give
you
you a
want.
hard time about it.
I don't get that hard a time about it.
Yeah, in California, people were giving me a hard time.
Oh, really?
I think it's a California thing. This is Mario.
Fuck them. Who cares?
They don't understand Italians like Jerseyans do.
They don't have any Italians.
They don't have any Italians. They don't even. They think they know what pizza is. I had a good pizza.
California Pizza Kitchen.
I had a good pizza tonight.
Did you?
OG Pizza from Philly.
Cool.
It's good. Shout out to OG.
I had pizza a couple days ago. It's good. Antonio's right up the street here. But yeah, there's no Italians in fucking
Cheese
in California. They don't know what it's like.
or other toppings. How do you do your pizza?
I got a slice of white pizza with ricotta, broccoli, and tomato, and then I got a couple of pepperoni slices.
Are you still doing Taco Tuesday?
Of course.
Every Tuesday.
Of course.
I've been eating instant ramen every day for lunch at 8 a.m.
How's that working for you?
I'm very bloated.
Sorry.
Lots of sodium, so much sodium. It's got enough for 100%.
It's just sodium, fat, and carbs. They use fat to hold it together.
What do you mean to hold it together?
Like ramen's got like 50% of your saturated fat in one serving of it. It's got a ton.
It doesn't have any fat.
Yes, it does.
Where does the fat come from?
They make it in the fat.
They make it in the fat.
Yeah. I think. I got some over here. Let's look at the label. My
I'm very
girlfriend
curious.
got a bunch of instant ramen as like a quick thing to make.
I'm very curious to see.
Okay, I'm exaggerating. But look, if you ate this whole packet, it would be 36% of your saturated fat for the day, and just that.
Maruchan beef flavor. Oh, this is light.
Yeah,
The ones I get have a lot of calories. All right, total
probably
fat.
more fat.
7 grams. That doesn't seem like a lot. Oh, per container, 14 grams.
It's the saturated fat, my dude. That's what gets you.
7 grams of saturated. No, that's... It says 14 total, 7 saturated. That means 7's unsaturated. They don't tell you how many unsaturated.
You can do math.
Why is it so important to say saturated, not unsaturated?
Saturated's worse for you. I'm not a nutritionist. I don't know what the mechanism of saturated fat being much worse is, but I know it is. It's considered much worse.
How often do you eat this?
My girlfriend eats it. I don't eat that at all. There's a couple times where she made 2 of them and I had some. But
You know,
that's like a quick. She likes having quick things around to make.
Yeah.
But even she's like, oh, I feel nasty if I eat, too much of that.
I love
She says
feeling
that.
nasty.
That's good.
Like, first thing in the morning. Like,
It's hitting really good. Is the idea that if you feel nasty to start out your day, you'll feel better as the day goes along?
No, it's just like my body's built for it. Like, it doesn't feel good until, like, when I moved to California, at 8 a.m., I would eat a California burrito with fries and meat and sour cream. And,
Yeah.
and it would be probably a couple thousand calories, and I would just eat that in the morning, and I would be good the whole day. And, like, I would just feel like a brick, but, like, I was so productive and solid. I just like to be filled up with food and then just not have to think about it. And I don't, 12 o'clock hits, I'm not even thinking about food. I'm so full. And you know what I add to the ramen?
What do you add to it?
Popeye's chicken tenders.
I bet you do.
So, I don't know, about a couple months ago, Popeye's had a deal. It was 14 tenders for $12. That's a really good deal. Just so you know, they usually give like 3 tenders for $5.
Are these the ones that you're stashing away?
Yes.
You're buying a ton and then
I bought a ton, so I stashed them away and I put them in the freezer in vacuum sealed bags, and now I take them out a couple at a time and I put them in the microwave and I chop them up and I put them in my ramen. And it's
whatever works for you.
probably more sodium doing it that way. And then I add soy sauce and sriracha.
You eat a lot of salt. I would at least.
Yeah, I got to get
I would
my
at least
blood
entertain
tested.
going to a cardiologist to make sure that it's not having any effect on how your heart is going.
My heart rate was high,
Yeah, that'll do that.
but my blood pressure was low.
Okay, that's good. It's good to have low blood pressure.
I don't know what that means though. High.
Well, it means you're not. I mean, you're not stressed. You don't look like a stressed person ever.
I sweat sometimes, like if I'm in like a meeting and I get nervous.
I would talk to your doctor about your sodium intake.
Does
But
that
you've been eating
is that a bad sign? I've been eating fast food.
forever.
Oh my god. Yeah, since I was a teenager.
Yeah, but it doesn't look like you ever put on weight because of it.
I've been
But
walking 6,000 steps a day. It's not helping. I'm putting on a couple pounds.
Just talk to your doctor about it.
I
Everyone's
I just went to the
slow down
doctor.
eventually.
I just went to the doctor. He said I'm a beautiful guy.
Cool. Is that what he said?
No, but he's a beautiful guy. Not like physically, just like such a nice, wholesome dude. He cleaned the earwax out of my ears.
I got a water jet thing upstairs that does that.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's for real.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I got the drops that loosens the earwax.
Yeah, I got the drops.
And then I with like the syringe. So like
That's so cool.
the amount of earwax when you do that every few months that drops out of your ear is phenomenal.
Where do you get the thing?
CVS.
Really?
Yeah.
He's a sprayer. That's what he was using. And he had like a little tray.
Yeah.
I've gotten a tray
Do
before.
it over the sink.
But I've never had the doctor themselves do the thing. And he was really going at it.
Yeah.
And he would...
Because the water pressure, it's not going to be enough to do any kind of damage, but it's going to flush it out.
He was calling the little earwax pieces potatoes. He's like, oh, there's another potato.
That's so wholesome.
I'm telling you.
Oh, Bob, another potato.
I got a good doc over at Cooper.
That's good.
He's a good doc.
Yeah, just monitor your vitals and your levels and get some blood work
I'm
done.
walking 6,000 steps a day.
Just have your blood work done and just, there will be things that they'll be like, just monitor this. I have to monitor my cholesterol.
Are you still running every day?
Well, I don't run every day, but I'm training for a Broad Street run in a month. The last few Sundays I ran with Mike Williams. You know Mike Williams.
He's running?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. He runs these
Wow.
long distances. So we ran
Wow.
9 miles, then 10, then 11. At a much slower pace than I usually go, so it's easy for me. I wouldn't call it easy, because at that distance, it does get tiring. But,
Wow. How long has he
like-
been running?
me?
No, Mike.
A couple years, I think. You started it? You got into that?
Wow. I can't see running.
You can't see running? See him?
Me.
Oh, you? Well, then don't.
Thank you. I like walking. Much
Well,
more my
walking's
pace.
good. Then walk.
Better than nothing, I guess.
It's much better than nothing.
Yeah.
The median American doesn't walk for shit. Just drive everywhere.
On Reddit, anytime people talk about it, they're like, oh my God, I walk 6,000 steps just go to the bathroom. I'm like, I go 6,000 steps just to go to the bathroom. It takes 2 hours, to walk 6,000 steps. Maybe an hour and a half. Depends how fast you walk. I have little legs.
The average person's going to do about 100 steps a minute. So yeah, if you walk for an hour, you're going to do 6,000 steps.
All right, so even an hour. You're not doing that going to the bathroom.
Yeah, you're not doing that unless your bathroom's really far away for whatever reason.
Yeah, but people say that. I'm not able to comment on Reddit anymore though. I got banned again. Did I tell you that?
I think you have, but remind me.
Well, I got
how you
banned. I just got banned again.
You just got banned again.
I just got banned.
What have you done
I
this time?
circumvented the ban recently.
You had a sock account?
I've just almost had. I've had it. I think 265 days this time before I got banned again.
Nice.
They gave me a warning, and then the next day they were just like, nah. Just kidding. You're banned. You're just banned. I told the mods to fuck off.
Yeah, that's why there was a forum I used to post current events and politics on for a really long time.
Yeah.
And after a long time, I was just like, I'm the community
Yeah.
went downhill, so I was just a troll all the time.
I wasn't.
And then I admitted that I was being a troll, so eventually they just banned me.
I wasn't a troll, but they were censoring something, And I like Reddit because I felt like I could just say whatever I wanted to say. I'm not hurting anybody, but like if you start like censoring something that's like,
You're hurting feelings.
yeah, it's just I feel like I'm better off maybe not commenting on Reddit, just observing.
Taking it in instead.
Just taking it in. I don't need to comment, give my 2 cents. I'm not on any social media. I deleted Instagram. I don't have Facebook. Reddit's banned me. I never did Twitter, or haven't.
I do like a everyday meme on Instagram. That's like the one thing I do.
I remember your memes. I liked the memes.
Yeah, I just keep that going.
But it wasn't worth it to me to support Zuck.
It's fair. I'll upload a picture every once in a while to Instagram. Once in a while, I'll make a status on Facebook. I basically use Facebook just for the like the boomer memeing bullshit. Like, fuck you, brother.
Let me just check my podcast.
Check it.
Still, we're at 44 minutes. What are your thoughts on AI?
I don't want to talk about fucking AI. Stop. I'm not
I
doing
want
it.
to talk about it. It's a hot topic.
I'm so sick of talking about it.
And, well, we didn't talk about it on the podcast yet.
Well, you're not getting anything out of me. I'm sick of talking about it.
He doesn't like AI.
That's it. What else do you want to talk about? Fuck AI.
Is it because you don't like it?
It's wasteful.
Just tell me quickly how it's wasteful. I'm just curious.
Quickly? Okay, I'll tell this one thing, and then I'm not talking about it anymore. I'll just start talking about baseball. I'll talk about something boring after this.
We're wrapping it up. This is the final topic.
To generate one AI image, like you see some bullshit AI image, right?
Oh yeah, I do that all the time.
Yeah. It takes, I think, the amount of energy to charge your phone fully, and it uses roughly 50 gallons of fresh water when it comes to like cooling the servers and stuff.
How many gallons of dirty water? Like recycled dirty, like sewer water?
I don't think that's the one that matters. I think it's the fact that it's 50 gallons of fresh water.
Could they do it with sewer water so
I
that it
don't
didn't
know.
use fresh water?
I don't think so. I think there's a reason people use fresh water and clean water when it comes to as like a cooling agent for computer and systems and servers. I think they use clean water for a reason, probably so they don't gunk up their expensive equipment.
Could you use like a coolant like you do in your car?
Ask somebody who is a computer technician.
Should I ask ChatGPT? Or would that
No,
use
I think
fresh water?
ChatGPT probably would give you a stupid answer.
And it would use water to do it.
Yes.
How much water just for like a single answer? Like how much water to review an email?
That I do not know.
Just approximately.
70 billion.
But that's a lot more than it is to do the image. That doesn't make sense.
Probably.
I feel like you're just making shit up.
I've definitely made up that last number.
Okay. 70 billion. That's not real.
No.
Okay, but it's a lot of fresh water
Yeah.
to make these images. They're just
Okay, bottom line.
bottom line.
Bottom line.
Hit me with the bottom line. It was the AWOL's getting the last
It's
word.
energy intensive and it's wasteful.
Sounds
We have a
me.
limited amount of energy on this earth with which to do things. And it's
And limited
extremely
amount of water.
wasteful that a lot of people are using a lot of energy to like make nonsense. There's unintended consequences for advances in technology. It's not always just, oh, this is cool because it's new tech.
So it's wasting finite energy.
Yes, at a outrageous pace.
Mm.
The fact that I don't use ChatGPT for anything, nor do I use any kind of program that generates AI images. The fact that I don't do that is more green and is reducing my carbon footprint more than
Taylor
all the
Swift.
recycling and anything else I've ever done combined. Just the fact ever since this has become a new technology that I do not use it,
Yeah.
that I type my own memos at work, that I will use, if I want to do some stupid image, I'll make it in a Photoshop program
Yeah.
rather than have whatever, Google AI images, whatever you want to call it, type in a prompt and have it do it for me.
How many Taylor Swift private jet flights is one image?
I don't know. I'll have to calculate that. I would just say, I think you're a creative dude, and I think there's a lot of creative people out there. And
Yeah.
I would lean on human creativity. I think that's still an important thing.
In the event that it was less wasteful, if they could find a way to do it without using so much energy.
Then we could focus on the other issues that it raises. That's how you wrote me into this shit. Real men, real men, real men. Good example, that Studio Ghibli.
Studio Ghibli. I never even heard of them before this.
Well, it's a Japanese animator.
I like Japan.
Yeah. Well, I would sum it up like this. Someone I saw on Twitter who said, "I'm going to keep using this. I'm going to keep using the Studio Ghibli image generator, and I'm going to consume all these memes that people are making with it." And his final comment, his or her, just whatever. Oh, what do I care where the image or where the art comes from? I'm just the consumer of it. So he sees an image created with AI, and he sees the exact same image drawn by an animator, and he sees no difference between the two things because he's just the consumer. I find something very soulless about that.
Mm.
He puts no stock in the aspect of human creativity that might go into making a movie, making an image, painting a painting, or anything. He just says, oh, if you can generate this through technology more efficiently, and it's not more efficiently, as we just discussed, but I'm just a consumer, what do I care? I think that doesn't bode well for the future of the human race.
Do you think it's inevitable?
No.
Even though everybody has access to this at this point? Will people actually care more about the energy waste?
Yeah, when we start running out of it.
I don't know. People didn't care about climate change.
Well, a lot of those consequences will be hitting people in the face pretty soon.
I mean, people
There's
smoke.
finite resources on the planet.
People smoke
We
cigarettes.
haven't come close to, in the 250 years since the Industrial Revolution, of exhausting it. Now we're teetering on that because we're consuming far, far, far more than we ever have.
But if you think about human psychology, people are sitting there smoking cigarettes with lung cancer when they have a stomata in their throat, stoma, something like that. You know what I'm saying? I feel like people, even when the consequences hit, people are still just
I suppose you're right.
riding high.
Yeah, I suppose you're right.
Until, everything just gets driven into the ground.
All goes to shit.
That's why I'm eating instant ramen every day, baby.
As long as you enjoy it.
You never know. Tomorrow
I
could
think
be
you'll
the
get
day
your blood
that
work done. You'll go to your doctor and
AI destroys everything. But maybe AI will save us. Maybe somebody will type into ChatGPT, how do we bring the soul back into humanity? And maybe it'll solve that problem for us.
or it'll tell you 2 + 2 = 5. and then it'll keep arguing with you.
It does argue sometimes. Well, actually, it doesn't argue. I argue because I'm like, that's not right. 2 + 2 does not equal 5. Spent a lot of my time and fresh water arguing.
At least you're cognizant of that.
Yeah, so much water.
Yeah. So just maybe think about that when you're doing it. Maybe
Yeah.
just, scale it back a little bit and think what I'm doing is fun,
Yeah.
but it has consequences. And then maybe through that, you'll pick your spots where you want to use it for something that's really amusing to you, or you think is really informative for somebody else, or really useful in some way.
Could I argue that by using it more, I'm becoming more efficient with it, and over time using it less because I've learned how to use it better?
Sure. It's still using a lot of energy. No matter what you're doing with AI, you're using a ton of resources to do it.
Do you think Trump will be good or bad for AI?
I think he's going to be bad demonstrably for anyone who wants to do anything.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Bob Seat. Trump is bad for anybody who wants to do anything.
I think he's showing that quite well.
Wrap it up there.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been episode 12 with the Claw.
I'm the Claw. Well done. Live Bob Seat cast. I like your little mics. This is nice.